4 days ago, I had the privilege of taking the stage of TEDx in Penang, Malaysia, inspired by the same story that brings me to your stage here in Rome at TEDxTrastevere, and that tomorrow will take me to Dublin, Ireland, and the stage of TEDxTalks. This is the story of a little boy, Cathan. I first met Cathan 5 years ago. He was starting first grade and was in the same classroom as my daughter at their school in Austin, Texas. On July 11th, this past summer, after a courageous and noble 7.5-year fight with cancer, Cathan passed from this world into the next. I went into great detail at TEDx about Cathan's story, and I ask that when it becomes available, you watch it so that you can see Cathan's story through my eyes. I started in Malaysia because that is where Cathan started. His family was indeed Malaysian. I also went into great detail about the power of one human being to fundamentally and completely transform the life of another, in this case mine. Just like the theme of TEDx drew me to its stage, the theme of TEDxTrastevere has had an equally magnetic pull. Because the very drops of life that make us human are the ones that killed Cathan. Cathan had a form of cancer known as leukemia, blood cancer. This kind of cancer is diagnosed in someone every 4 minutes. It takes the life of someone every 10 minutes. However, this is not a story of loss. This is a story of hope, because no matter how tough Cathan's fight with cancer got, he never stopped smiling. He never gave up hope. His hope was infectious. It didn't just change me, it changed everyone who came in contact with him, everyone that has seen or heard his story. Now, Cathan loved rainbows. Actually, someone once called Cathan a human rainbow of one. And at his memorial service, family and friends each released a balloon into the sky, and we created our rainbow for Cathan. What's really amazing is this rainbow, because on the day of Cathan's passing, quite literally at the moment that Cathan passed from this world into the next, this rainbow appeared directly over his home in Austin. This is where Cathan's story and my story comes full circle. 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to speak from the stage of TEDx Austin about my work to create a new internet, an internet capable of connecting people at the same fundamental and deep level at which Cathan and I were connected. There was a comment I made on this stage 2 years ago that seems incredibly appropriate here today. From the perspective of a raindrop, there is no such thing as a cloud. Now, over the past several days, as I've flown around the planet on this TEDx World Tour, I've seen a lot of clouds. And one thing that is easy to forget when you are looking at the incredible majesty of a cloud is that they are made up of millions upon millions of individual raindrops. Without these raindrops, life itself never would have come to exist on this earth. Without these clouds, we would not have the buffer we need from extreme space to allow life to continue to exist. Now, if you think about it for a minute, it's really interesting what raindrops can do when they act together. They can unleash incredible force. From this tornado rushing across the plains of the United States to the cyclone that rushed across the Indian Ocean this past weekend, raindrops acting together can create great change. Of course, the power of a raindrop doesn't stop just because it's left the cloud. When they get back down here on the surface, they get together again, forming rushing rivers like this one, or unleashing the force of waterfalls. Things get really interesting when the raindrops go back the other direction. As water evaporates, it rises rapidly into the sky, not only creating storm clouds, but when those raindrops bump into each other, they unleash the force of electricity. Without the spark of lightning bolts like these, we would not have had the spark we needed for life itself. Of course, the power of the raindrop cannot just be seen in the clouds and the rivers and the oceans. The force of raindrops can be seen in the marks they leave behind. Raindrops acting together over millions and millions of years can literally carve through solid rock. In the case of Arizona, they left a canyon miles long and miles deep. Now, it's important to realize that raindrops are part of a larger system. Water, like life itself, is part of a global system. It is quite likely that the raindrops that carved the Grand Canyon have spent some time here in Italy as well. From the snow on the peaks of the Matterhorn to the valleys of the Dolomites, water knows no boundaries. So we return to where we started, drops of life, and this question: can we create a human ecosystem capable of harnessing the same force of raindrops in the water ecosystem? Can 7 billion human beings acting together carve a canyon through the heart of cancer? Can a new language for the internet unleash the power of people connected? Can the power of one, so beautifully reflected in the life of Cathan, be repeated in the lives of many? Can we create a new cloud that allows us, acting together, to leave our mark on the future of humanity? Thank you.